afternoon, student. Good afternoon, class. As we are doing chapter 8 motion. It is a chapter of physics. And what we have learned till now, we have discussed about physical quantity. So now you will be able to give answer of these topics as we have already learned about this. Physical quantity. What are physical quantity? Those quantity which can be measured are known as physical quantity. Then there are two types of physical quantity: fundamental physical quantity and derived physical quantity. As we have already discussed about the fundamental, those quantity which does not depend on other quantities are known as fundamental physical quantity, like mass, length, and time. These quantity are independent. They does not depend on other quantity. That's why they are fundamental quantity. Derived quantity, those quantity which depend on fundamental quantity, or we can say which depend on another quantity, are known as derived physical quantity. We can take the example of volume, area, or we can say speed, velocity, acceleration, force. There are so many quantities which are physical quantity but depend on another quantity. That's why they are known as derived physical quantity. After that, we have discussed about units. What are units? A standard value which is used for measurement. Then system of unit. There are four types of system of unit are there. CGS. CGS stands for centimeter, gram, and second. So we will measure length in centimeter, mass in gram, and time in second. Then foot, pound, second. Length is measured in foot, mass is measured in pound, and time is measured in second. Then MKS system is there, in which length is measured in meter, mass is measured in kilogram, and time is measured in again second. Then we are having SI, international system. International system is just like MKS system. So length is measured in meter, mass is measured in kilogram, and time again is measured in second. So these topics we have already discussed. So now the topic for today is scalar quantity and vector quantity, rest and motion. Although rest and motion we have discussed in the previous lecture. Okay, sir. Thank you. So scalar and vector quantity, then rest and motion, and then we will discuss about distance and displacement. Okay. So let's start with the scalar quantity. Scalar quantity. And as I have mentioned earlier, when I am talking about quantity, it is already a physical quantity. Because in physics, we will discuss only about the physical quantity. Many a time I will write physical quantity, many a time I will not write physical quantity. It will understood that it is a physical quantity, it is a measurable quantity. So I am writing only scalar quantity. It is also scalar physical quantity. Right? So what are scalar quantity? Those quantity means those physical quantity which have magnitude only, which have magnitude only. And we have discussed about this magnitude. What is this magnitude? Magnitude means numerical value. What is the meaning of magnitude? Means numerical value. Only having numerical value, only have a constant value are known as scalar physical quantity. So we are going to discuss about the quantity which are having only magnitude and which are having direction also. So those quantity which are having only magnitude, only a numerical value, are known as scalar physical quantity. Scalar physical quantity. For example, mass. Mass is having only magnitude. So we are saying that 2 kg, 3 kg, 5 kg. We don't need any direction for the measurement of mass. We are only interested in a numerical value, means magnitude. So it is a scalar quantity. Again, length. We are interested only to measure the numerical value, means magnitude. No need of direction to measure a length. Again, distance. We'll talk about this. What is distance? Distance is also a scalar quantity. Speed. Speed will also be a scalar quantity. Time. We does not require any direction to measure time. What we need? Only numerical value, and that numerical value is magnitude. So you can understand very well with the help of these examples. While measuring all these quantities, we does not require any direction. We just have numerical value. Okay. So it is clear that those quantities which have only magnitude, means only numerical value, are known as scalar quantity, or we can say scalar physical quantity. Again, I am repeating, when I am considering a quantity, it is already a physical quantity. So I'm only writing the quantity, it is already physical quantity. So what are the scalar quantity? Those quantities which have only magnitude, means only numerical value. So numerical value means magnitude. So example are mass, length, distance, speed, time. We does not require any direction to measure these quantities. Although there are so many quantities which are a scalar quantity, so you can identify that. Next, vector quantity. Vector quantity. Vector quantity. Next is the vector quantity. Here, vector, we will consider direction also. In vector, we will consider direction also. So those physical quantities which have both magnitude, means numerical value, and direction. Also have magnitude, means numerical value, and direction. So here we required direction and magnitude both to measure a physical quantity, and those physical quantities are known as vector quantity, or we can say vector physical quantity. So what are the example of that quantity? First, we will take displacement. Displacement is the topic for today's discussion. So we will discuss in the topic displacement. So displacement is a quantity which required magnitude as well as direction for their measurement. So if we have to measure displacement, there will be a magnitude, there will be a direction. So both are required. That is why it is a vector quantity. Displacement is a vector quantity. Velocity we will discuss the chapter in chapter motion, but here you can remember this quantity, velocity, is just like a speed. But in speed, we does not require any direction, but here in velocity, we require direction also. So that is, it is known as vector quantity. Again, acceleration we'll discuss later on this chapter. Acceleration is also which quantity? Vector quantity. Next, momentum. All these quantities we will discuss in this chapter. Here you have to remember only this quantity. What are these quantities we will discuss in this chapter? Okay, so momentum is also a vector quantity. Force is also vector quantity. So these are the example of vector quantity. So while measuring this quantity, we required both magnitude as well as direction. So what are the vector quantity? Those quantity which required both, which have both magnitude as well as direction. So magnitude means numerical value, and direction means any particular direction, north, south, east, west. We can say an example like we are measuring the length. say length is equal to 20 meters. So you does not require any particular direction. In which direction you will measure the 20? You can take any direction, but you have a specific scale, you have a specific unit which can measure this 20. So to measure this 20, we have a specific scale called meter. So with the help of a meter scale, I can measure that length, I can compare that length 20 times. So while I will compare that length with 20 times, it will become 20 meters. So no specific direction is required. In the same manner, while measuring the mass, I can consider, say, mass is equal to 5 kg. So no particular direction is required. No particular direction is required to measure this mass of 5 kg. But while taking these quantities, while measuring the displacement or velocity, say velocity is equal to 20 meter per second towards east, west or north. So we have to mention the direction also. So to measure this quantity, displacement, velocity, acceleration, momentum, force, we required direction also. Right to left, left to right, east to west, west to east, north, south, up, down. So these are the directions which are required to measure a vector quantity. So hope this is clear to you. So next, so we are moving to the next topic, which is rest and motion. As I have discussed about this many times, so I will write the definition and hope you are knowing about this. What is rest? Means when an object does not change its position with respect to a reference point, it is known as rest. So it is very much simple to you. When an object does not change its position with respect to a reference point. For example, a book lying on a table. So the book will stay on the table for 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, because it does not change its position with respect to a reference point. And we have already discussed about this reference point. Reference point is any stationary point, any comparable point. So we are taking a fixed point, a stationary point means fixed point. Reference point means fixed point or stationary point. So if an object does not change its position with respect to a reference point, it is said to be at rest. It is said to be at rest. Next is a motion. What is motion? So what is motion? Simple. When an object changes its position, with respect to a reference point with the passage of time, is known as, it's said to be in motion. So when an object change its position with respect to a reference point, again this reference point make a valuable sense. Okay, with respect to a reference point with the passage of time, So in that definition of rest, you can also put this last line with the passage of time, because time is, we will also consider the time with respect to the surrounding or with respect to the reference point, or with the passage of time. If an object changes its position, then it is said to be in motion. If it does not change its position, then it is said to be in rest. Okay, for example, a car moving on the road. a car moving on the road. So car moving on the road is an example of motion. So car moving on the road is an example of motion. So here, student, you can take a screenshot of this, and also you will get the PDF of this lecture. But before that, you can take the screenshot for your further question answer session, so that you can raise any question from this topic. Okay, now I'm moving to the next topic, which is distance and displacement. So what is distance and what is displacement? So now from this topic onward, the main chapter means the motion will start. Also the rest and motion is this definition also included in that chapter, but the main quantity will start from here. So what is distance and what is displacement? So distance. What is distance? So distance, for the representation of distance, or we can take the symbol capital S. In many books it is denoted by S. In many books it is denoted by X. It is denoted by Y also. So you can take any of these symbols, S, X, Y, all these alphabets, all these symbols will represent distance and displacement. Okay, so what is distance? So distance is the, so first of all, let's take an example. If an object, say it is at point A, after some time it travels some distance and it moves to the point B. Before discussing the distance, first thing we have to keep in our mind that we are discussing about motion. If there is a motion, there will be a distance. If there is no motion, there will be no distance. The object is moving from point A to the point B. So how we will measure this length? We can measure this length taking any suitable unit, say centimeter, meter, or kilometer. So I'm taking a unit meter. So it is 5 meter. 5 meter. And then the point go to the object go to the point B. Say it is 2 meter. After some time, the object moves to the point D. Say this is 3 meter. So this is the 3 meter. So what is the distance from point A to the point B? We will just add this length, these lengths. So what we can say about the distance? So we can say about distance, the distance is nothing but the actual path length. Actual path length. So what is the path? We are going, this object is going from A to B, then B to C, then C to D. This is the path followed by an object. And when any object is following this path, A to B, then B to C, and then C to D, and it will stay at point D. So what is the path follow? Path follow is A to B, B to C, C to D. This is the path followed. And if you measure this length or the total length of this path followed, then this is known as distance. So distance is nothing but, so we can write here, distance is nothing but the actual length of the path followed. Actual length of the path followed. So what is the actual length of the path followed? Means AB plus BC plus CD. This is the actual length of the path followed. And what is AB? AB is 5 meter plus what is BC? 2 meter. What is CD? 3 meter. So we can say distance is equal to 8 meter. Okay. So distance is 7 plus 3, 10 meter. Sorry, it is 10 meter. So this is the distance. So what we conclude from this? Nothing but the actual length. Actual length. So we can write the definition. What is the distance? It is it is the actual length. It is the actual length of the path covered by an object. By an object. It is the actual length. Actual length means the total length. So we can measure the length of each and every part, and we can simply add that length by using the simple algebraic rule of addition. With the help of that, we can find out the total length. So total length means it is the actual length of the path covered by an object. That is the definition of distance. Next, there is some characteristics of the distance, and on the basis of the topic we have discussed earlier. Now that topic which we have discussed in the previous lecture or in this lecture before this, those points will take an important role this time. So what is this? We have just discussed in our first topic scalar and vector. So we need only magnitude. So which type of quantity is this? So which type of quantity is distance? Does we require any direction to measure these lengths from A to B? We require any direction? We can measure from B to A. That will also be 5 meters. B to C is 2 meters. C to B will also be 2 meters. C to D is 3 meters. D to C will also be 3 meters. So we do not require any specific direction. And if we are not require any specific direction, so what type of quantity is this? This is a scalar quantity. So we can write here, it is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. So these are the characteristics of the distance which we are doing now. So in the first line, it is very much clear that it is a definition of distance. It is denoted by the symbol S, X, Y, whatever we can take. It is the actual path length, actual length of the path covered. Now it is a scalar quantity. The third point is how we will measure distance. We will measure distance 40 meters, but the SI length is meter. So SI unit of the distance will also be meter. So we can say its SI unit, international, according to the international standard, its SI unit is meter. Its SI unit is meter. It is denoted by small m. So we can measure distance. We can measure distance in meter. So its SI unit is meter. SI unit is meter. So SI unit is meter. It is a scalar quantity. Next point. In the starting, I have mentioned a point that we are considering about the motion. We are considering about motion. If there is no motion, say object is at point A. After 2 seconds, it is at point A. After 3 seconds, it is at point A. After 4 seconds, it is at point A. So what kind of situation is this? This is a situation of rest. So if object is not moving, so can we say anything about the rest? Sorry, can we say anything about distance? No, we cannot say anything about distance because it is at rest. We can simply say that the distance is 0, and it does not make any sense. So if we are talking about the distance, the first requirement is object must be in motion. With the passage of time, its position should be changed. So with the passage of time, object is at point A. With the passage of time, it covers some distance and moves to the point B. It does make a sense. Means how much length is covered? 5 meters. So what is the distance? 5 meters. After some time, it moved from B to C. How much? 2 meter, and after some time it moved from C to D, 3 meter. So when we are discussing about distance, we are discussing about motion. So distance, it can never be 0. Okay. And the next characteristic, it can never decrease. It can never decrease with time. It can never decrease with time. So when an object, is in motion, distance can never be 0. Can never be 0. Can never be 0. Obviously, in the number system, we know that when a decreasing value approaches to 0, after that it will become negative. So it is not possible for the distance to decrease with time while object is in motion. So when an object is in motion, distance can never be 0. If it can never be 0, so how it will be negative? So we can say it is always positive. It is always positive. So student, there is a lack of time. We will take this topic again in the next lecture. So displacement is pending for the next class. In next class, I will repeat the topic distance, not whole, but distance, and then after that we will consider the displacement. So you can take the screenshot of this. Okay, students. Now it is a doubt session. You can ask your question one by one.